So a big spot for Mikel against AdRiaN PiedRa, who is feeling calm and confident. It's so difficult. Not much game tape on AdRiaN within this meta. Mikel, on the other hand, has played a ton and has really favored bridge spam decks, whether it's Battle Ram or Ram Rider versions. So we'll see if AdRiaN PiedRa has expected that. And here we go, Mortar out early.
Oh yeah, and this is not a great position for AdRiaN to be in to start off the gates. Mikel doesn't have a big spell in hand, apparently.
So what could have been disaster ends up working out fairly well for the Complexity player.
Yeah, it's kind of shocking to hear you say that sentence. There's not a lot of game tape on AdRiaN in this meta. Someone that was so prevalent in the first season. I mean, he played 36 1v1 games and add another 8 King of the Hill on top of that. You've got someone that's just 44 games in head-to-head play last season. Just astounding.
Only 9 games this season and played 9 different decks over that time period for AdRiaN PiedRa. So difficult to game against.
Wow.
And at the moment, giant double Prince from Mikel. Dark Prince does get that first connection.
Just a wonderful zap from Mikel there, allowing the charge connection from that Dark Prince coming in. And there is the fireball that I was wondering if he had on that original push.
And quite a bit of value that time around. AdRiaN PiedRa, you can see him physically resetting. Spear Gobs do get some shots on tower. Currently in the lead as we approach the midway point of regulation.
So probably giant double Prince, triple spell here, which can be a tough matchup for Mortar. At least I have a hard time with it from time to time. AdRiaN here, going to see how he responds. It's going to be all about spreading out his troops and making sure that Mikel does not get a ton of spell value, because as you saw right there, that spell value he just got was huge with the Mortar and the Minion Horde.
This has been a breakout season for Mikel. Of course, 9 King of the Hill wins, 2 of those coming courtesy of massive sweeps. The first one over SK Gaming, Morton, Sam, and SoKing falling to Mikel, followed by one over Pain where he took out Wen, Carnage, and Henenkava.
Yeah, it was such an interesting thing about Fnatic was their hot and cold second set. You know, they went to the 1v1 set in almost half of their matches, and with the success of their 2v2 duo, you have to imagine that is the shortcoming is coming in King of the Hill.
And that log does not quite make enough room for the Prince. Snowball comes in very well defended for AdRiaN. Final 30 seconds of regulation. Now he puts pressure in the opposite lane. Dark Prince behind for Mikel.
Miner comes in, does not tank for the Spear Goblin, so I actually don't believe that E-Wiz was a very good use of 4 Elixir from Mikel, but I think he was just a little nervous. AdRiaN made him bite.
Barb Barrel in response on the E-Wiz, so everything working out for AdRiaN right now. Mikel loading up at the bridge. Does he have Fireball? Yes, he does.
That is trouble right there. Giant will get to tower. Prince not going to be able to get there in time because of the Prince dropped from AdRiaN, but the Giant getting a lot of swings in.
Suddenly, Mikel in the lead as we go into sudden death, and this is where he can really put the pressure on.
And that was where AdRiaN just gave a little too much spell value to Mikel and created a big lane for that Prince. Nice kite of the Spear Goblins here.
Dark Prince goes all the way across, gets killed. We are now really, really close with the damage on the right-hand lane, and there you go, Mortar played defensively.
Yeah, now this time opting to not use the Fireball, maybe thinking he can get more value out of it as that Prince gets closer to the tower. But AdRiaN has to keep up this dual lane pressure. You see right there going in. Zap comes down, so oh, that is huge.
Just a little late with the defensive Miner. Prince gets some huge shots down to 559. So with this triple spell deck, very much in spell cycle range for Mikel.
You know exactly what AdRiaN was going for, but he should have opted to use those Spear Goblins on defense in front of the Prince as opposed to the Miner, and then maybe sent the Miner to the Princess to try to get some chip damage, but that sequence did not pay off, and right now it looks like Mikel is about to close out AdRiaN here.
And again, Fireball gets to those high minion horde, doing his best to hold on, but down to 419. Mikel has AdRiaN PiedRa on the ropes.
Yeah, 419, couple fireballs away. He doesn't want to get overzealous with his fireball, still needs to get some value, and AdRiaN is going to make him pick and choose where to use it, and ideally not on the Princess Tower.
Pressure on now. AdRiaN throws the Miner to the back. Prince in front. Spear Goblins behind. This could get a connection. Giant just in time.
High Giant. Minion Horde comes down. Fireball in.
And no Mortar to pick that up. This should be it.
Giant, yep. So now we are within just a fireball away. Mikel keeping up the pressure with Giant double Prince triple spell. You see AdRiaN there shaking his head. Again, a very, very tough matchup.
Mortar bait has been really, really strong this season at a 63% win rate, takes its first L in the playoffs.